Hello and welcome to this 2019, I guess you call it 2019 Memorial Day themed video. And whoops, still got my tripod out. I am calling this video War Did Not Give Me Recreation. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Okay, sorry about that. Tripod. All right, so you say, what does that mean? War did not give me recreation. Well, I was looking on Facebook the last few days and people were showing video memes or memes, whatever they call them, memes. The photo memes saying, they did this, showing guys hitting the beach at Normandy, so you could do this. People laying on the beach in Biloxi, Mississippi or wherever. Santa Monica, California, Fort Lauderdale Beach, Florida. I don't know. So I said, hadn't done a video in a while on government, politics, history. I said, so I'll do this video. We'll see who wants to join, who wants to talk about it. Now, if you take issue with what I'm going to say here today, you are welcome to join, and I'll give you the floor for up to 30 minutes. You'll have the floor. You can say whatever you want if I'm wrong. See, I try to be a very fair beer, wine, liquor reviewer, and I try to be a fair political viewer. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it in the future. If you got a problem with what I'm saying, let me know. Contact me. You got the floor. On my channel, you hear, that's a bargain. That is a bargain. You can come on to my channel and you got 30 minutes to say what you want to say. Within reason, watch your language. You can control your language and don't use inappropriate language. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. And now, of course, I'll give a rebuttal. You understand? All right. So I'm sipping on some Baladin, Arrogant Baladin from Germany. Stone Arrogant Baladin, 9.1% barley wine style ale. Okay, basically what it is. Skylar says, hey, I already started drinking. Okay. 47 straight says, good idea. Skylar. G. Sleet says, sipping on Frankston Virgin Oak Single Malt, great price. Deanston. Wow, never heard of that, but I bet I'd like it. So I'm watching, I'm looking at these things on Facebook, and I said to myself, how can that be? How do people landing at the beach in Normandy, June 6, 1944, let me go to the beach, which I don't like going to the beach. I don't like sitting in the sun. All right. But let's say, well, maybe I want to walk on a hiking trail in the shade in a forest, which I will do that. But the theme of the meme is, since those guys hit the beach in Normandy, France in 1944, June 6, 1944 at dawn, that allows me to have recreation, hiking in the woods, go to the beach, do videos, do beer reviews, go to baseball games, go to brewery tours. Can't go to Pabst, go to their pilot brewery. So you tell me, you explain to me. I want somebody to explain to me. You explain to me. We're here. This is not on my alternate channel, Anti-War. This is the main channel, which is my name. You explain to me how war gives me recreation or freedom. You know what I'm saying? How is that? Because I would like somebody to explain that. I have never heard anybody give me a coherent answer to that question. Now, I'm offering you this question on Memorial Day weekend. What do we remember on Memorial Day? All the people who died in the wars. I said the wars, period. Boop. American wars. Now, other people like on Fox Sports Network, ESPN, the sports networks, you know, the news, Fox News and all that, they're going to say, and when I turned it on this morning, I was brushing my teeth, washing my face, and they were saying, oh, these people died to keep us free. Now, they did die. And we feel sorry for these people who died and the civilians who died in these wars. But my question here, this video is a question. How did it make us free? How did their dying in a war in Normandy, France, allow me to go on a hiking trail in Mississippi or Texas. You hear what I'm saying to you? Now explain that to me. Here is your chance. Benice Antenna says, I try a new flavor 6-pack every weekend. This weekend, it's Dos Equis Double. The lager, the espresso, I give it a 6 out of 10. That's pretty low because I do beer reviews on a college grading scale. So to me, 6 out of 10 would be a 60, meaning a D minus. It would be so bad it would be nearly undrinkable. But that might be what you're scoring it. Because I'm using a college grading scale. 60 to 69 be a D, 70 to 79 C range, 80, 89 B, 90 to 99 is an A, 100 A plus, perfect, and above that is world class. It's world class is a beer that's beyond perfect. It's better than it could. It's better than it should be. How many have I had of that class? Maybe 6, maybe. So those don't happen much. But back to the discussion. Here's the question. You've got the link. Some of these guys they're doing homebrewing over on Thrash Metal's channel. If you prefer to watch a very exuberant, rollicking homebrew video, which is nothing wrong with that. Good on Thrash Metal Homebrew, and they're doing that. And I was part of that for a little while. And they're having a good time, and that's very good. But you say, well, those guys dying on the beach in Normandy, France at D-Day, that let them do home brewing. They died so that you could do home brewing. I'm saying how? How did they die on the beach? How did the fact of them dying on the beach let them do home brewing? Do you hear what I'm trying to tell you? Do I have sympathy for these over 200,000 Americans who died in World War II? Sure. Not to mention the millions who were injured. Naturally, I have sympathy for all the veterans from the colonial wars, you know, King William's War, King George's War, Queen Anne's War. Queen Anne's War, King George's War. The French and Indian War. I have sympathy for those who died in the war to become independent from Great Britain. The ones who died in the quasi-war against France in the 1790s. The War of 1812, the Indian Wars. The war on Mexico. I feel sorry for those who died on the war to prevent, you remember the war in the 1860s, the war to prevent Southern independence. I have sympathy for the people who died there. The war on Spain in 1898. I have sympathy for these people. The World War Part 1, 1914 to 1918. The World War Part 2, 1939 to 1945. I have sympathy. I feel terrible that they died. The Korean War, the Vietnam War, you see, which spilled over into Cambodia and Laos, Cambodia and Laos. The Iraq War Part 1, the Iraq War Part 2, the ongoing endless war on terrorism. I have sympathy for all these people. That wasn't the question. The question wasn't, did I have sympathy? The question was, how did those people dying in the war give me the opportunity to have recreation? Because that's what the meme said on Facebook. The posting. I didn't comment, upset these people. I'm saying, how did the photo said, them doing this, dying on the beach in Normandy, France, at Gold Sword, Juneau, Utah, Omaha Beach, allowed us to do this. They show people lounging on the beach Memorial Day. Still waiting for an answer. Can somebody answer that question? I'm saying you cannot answer the question. That's my challenge to the world. You cannot answer that question. Okay? My grandfather was in Europe at D-Day, well, 4 days after, you know, so not so much danger for him there. Battle of the Bulge, the Ardennes Offensive, December 15, 1944. He was there on the front lines, very dangerous, but he wasn't injured. Okay. He died nearly 3 years ago. He wouldn't let people congratulate him on that. He said the real heroes are still over there in Europe. Okay. In other words, the dead, the dead. Fine. But the question, how? This is not a difficult question. I want an answer. How did them dying at Normandy, France, June 6, 1944, allow me to lay on the beach or go on a hiking trail or do a video in 2019? How did them dying on the beach give me freedom to do what I want to do today? Answer the question. Here's the opportunity. You can join the video. Not only answer the question, you can come on the video, state your opinion. War makes room for politics. This is G Sleet talking. Let me see if I can understand what you're saying. I'm going to go get some more beer. War makes room for politics. And we hope the end result of our small part, which is a vote of a leader, is freedom. You're saying war makes room for politics. How is that the case? This Deanston Virgin Oak is $49 a bottle, 46%, like a cheaper Glenfiddich, really nice. I think I would love it. I would love it. I love most Scotch whiskeys that I try, blended or single malt. You know, I like them. I like them. All right. How you like this bottle? How you like me now? How you like this bottle? Ooh. 48 ounces, full metal jacket. We need more peace lovers like Ron, says Ronnie S. Ronnie, people will attack you. They don't like me on the internet because I've been advocating for peace. It's really strange, you know, in a way, because you say you're anti-war, and then people will say terrible things about you. You're a this, you're a blankite, you're a blankite. You know, an anti-this and anti-that. I said, wow, that's really incredible. I'm saying I'm against these foreign wars, and now they're accusing me of being anti some people. It's a joke. If I could get this cap out of this cork out of here, I'd be so happy. Venus Antenna says, what would the soldiers think of the world today? Would they think that they went through was worth it? I don't know what they would think. Some of them are still alive. Well, of course, we're saying it was not worth it. Sodally Tober says, Ron Ontario, Dan Crenshaw, 2024-2032. I don't know what that means. 47 Straight says, I'm anti-war, not the most popular opinion. No. Now, you see, this is the funny thing, or the odd thing. If you're anti-war, whoa, did you hear that carbonation? Golly. That was some carbonation on that son of a gun. Listen to this thing pour. Doesn't that sound pretty? Oh. Coming up. You need a love. All right, now. Tulsi Gabbard. Who is Tulsi Gabbard? I'm not sure I know who that is. What is Aleppo? All right, dying in the beach. Okay, G Sleep. Dying on the beach in Normandy because you listen to your country's leader. You do it without questioning the cause. The cause is freedom for mankind. Well, of course, that's what they're telling you. You understand? So then you'd be much more likely to go lay down your life for this foolishness. What are they going to say? Go die in Normandy because we are imperialists and we want to run the world? That doesn't really that doesn't make people too enthusiastic, I don't think. Who's going to go die for that? Die on the beach so that America can have the proper power relative to her economic potential, whatever. All right, so you see these things don't go over so well. So you've got to couch. What do? You couch it. You frame it. That's a good point. You frame it to where it's palatable. So the cause is freedom for mankind. That's the propaganda, yes. Not the real cause, but that's the advertised purpose. I'm gonna go put this back. I've got some good amount left. Most of the weight is from the bottle, though the bottle is extremely heavy. Extremely heavy. Oh, my friend David bought me that huge beer for Christmas, and then he said, "Don't drink it, don't drink it. I want to drink it with you." I said, "Okay." And then he gave up drinking for Lent. He didn't drink any alcohol for Lent. He said because he was getting sick, actually. And so he said, but I kind of put the hammer down. I said, "Look, this beer has got to be drunk before June 1st. So basically, I was implying that if he didn't come do a review, I was going to crack it open, you understand? So he came over today and did it. Now, and we both gave it an A 95. So in about a week, you'll see the videos. 11 minutes long, exactly 11 minutes. But I think what we said made sense. So I think you'll like it. But I'm giving you a preview review. It's beautiful product, beautiful product. But it's a barley wine. It's not really remarkable. I know they have this gentian root. I don't see where it gives you any kind of extra benefit. I'm talking about on flavor. It might be healthy to drink, but yeah, 9.1%. It's a barley wine. It's very enjoyable. But to say that it's vastly differentiated from the old foghorn, from Anchor, or the North Coast Old Stock Ale, or the Sierra Nevada Bigfoot, it isn't not really. But it was a good gift, and he got a good deal on it. So then but I said he had to take off. He didn't have to leave, but he wanted to, so he could go to that barbecue. I mean, hey, somebody told me come over and eat some barbecue ribs or whatever, I'd probably go too. You know what I mean? Now, so all right, let's look at the comments. I'm still waiting for a good answer. GNJK says, if you own businesses that make war supplies like tanks, bombs, jets, bullets, it pays to keep wars going as long as possible, right? As long as they're not bombing your facilities, right? Tulsi Gabbard is the most anti-war person running for president. She's actually a Democrat, but she deserves a chance. Please look her up. I will do that right now. Let's see. I am a Democrat, but I ain't voted for one in a long time. Let's see. Tulsi Gabbard. Here we go. Heard the name, I heard the name, but I wasn't familiar with the person. She's nice looking. I'll vote for her for a girlfriend. She's from American Samoa. What? 38 years old. Yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse on girlfriend age. Oh, she's divorced. Uh-oh. And now she's remarried. Never mind. I'm not trying to get shot over here. Okay, now. Oh, yeah, from Hawaii, huh? Oh, yeah. She was like quasi-conservative, but now she said, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, yeah, they were talking about her on the news. I don't know what I was thinking. As of 2019, now that could change. You see, you know how these politicians are. They evolve. In other words, they change their opinions so they could get elected better. They're pragmatic. You say, what does that mean, pragmatic? That means they'll say whatever they got to say to get elected. Like clay, malleable. But malleable to their own devices, you understand. Let's see. As of 2019, she supports abortion rights, Medicare for all, and same-sex marriage. Don't think I'll be voting for Mrs. Gabbard by any. Well, I mean, if you put a gun in my head, no, you'd have to kill me. I wouldn't vote for her. Got to have my, I got to live with myself, even in death. All right. She is critical. Notice they don't say opposed to. Critical of interventionism in Iraq, Libya, and Syria. Iraq, Bush, #2, N1. Libya, that's Obama. Syria, that's Obama. And now Trump. Her opposition to removing Syrian President Bashar al-Assad from power by force, and her voting and lobbying against lesbian, gay, all that other stuff, rights prior to 2005, have attracted controversy. She has since changed her views concerning those rights. Right, see what I mean? They evolve. Winds of change are coming round. All right. Yeah, Ronnie, I would say that the chances of me voting for this lady would stand at about 0%. But the chances could drop. So right now, I would say I'm at 0%, and it could go lower. All right, let's see. I understand what you're saying, which is why politicians or their children should be on the front line as well. Haha, there wouldn't be any wars. All right, Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, Ron. Cheers to you, Jeremy. True, GMJK. It's called the military-industrial complex. Uh-oh. We know about that. Yeah, Ronnie, they buy friends in politics to keep selling military stuff. Easy way to take tax money and put it into private business hands. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are evils in this world that must be dealt with from time to time. Freedom is not free, says Icon. I don't know what you're talking about, Icon. You'd have to give some better answers than that. There's always going to be evil in the world. I'm talking about how did people landing on the beach in Normandy, France in 1944 allow me to go on a hiking trail now? Ronnie says, Tulsi speaks the truth on foreign policy, Ron. Oh, yeah? Does she now? She doesn't speak the truth on all these other issues, so I wouldn't vote for her in a hot minute. G. Sleet says, war is what you do on the way to a more advanced utopian future. Right. War is not celebrated, but the peace soldiers fight for is. Okay. I mean, I said at the beginning of the video, I feel sorry for the people who died in the war. I'm not talking about the soldiers. I feel sorry for the soldiers of the war, the French soldiers, the English soldiers, the Canadian soldiers, the American soldiers, the Italian soldiers, the German soldiers, the Soviet Union soldiers, the Finnish soldiers, the Hungarian soldiers, the Romanian soldiers, the Bulgarian soldiers, the Yugoslavian soldiers, the Greek soldiers. I feel sorry for all those people. Ronnie says, I'd vote for Tulsi over Trump any day. Trump is going off the rails with the neocons in his administration. Well, certainly that's a very serious problem. He's surrounded by neoconservatives, in other words, Trotskyite communists, and they are very pro-war. So we have to watch out for that. He's got to be on guard. Now, he might know what he's dealing with. We have to consider this because we're dealing with a Jedi, a guy who he is a Jedi, I think, and he uses Jedi mind tricks on these people. So he might realize I am surrounded by these evil people. But I'm in a very precarious situation, okay? My own Republican Party doesn't like me. Certainly the Democrats don't like me just because I'm a Republican. They don't think straight either. So I have to be very careful. So he might, and this is totally theory more than fact, of course, perhaps we hope that the anti-North Korea, the anti-Iran, the anti-Syria is a feint, a false front that he's putting up to placate these neoconservatives. And I think that the neoconservatives are becoming suspicious of this, that he's stringing them along till November 2020. That he'll say this, say that, rattle sabers here, rattle sabers there, only to placate them, but that he's stringing them along. I think they're becoming concerned that he's doing this. Uh-oh, we got a person joining.
What's up, Ron?
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, well, let me read the comments and then I'll let you talk, because I actually didn't invite anybody to talk, did I not? Okay. Let's see. Bennis says, or Bennis or Benice says, it's probably impossible to sit back and let every other human do what they want. This is why we have government, a necessary evil, Dennis. At least some of them will get up to no good and eventually enslave you or kill you. Thus, you must maintain a military. Well, now that's a big statement that encompasses almost any kind of, that's a kind of a broad statement. Ronnie S says freedom is free, icon. And Jeremy says, I'm voting for Alex for president. We will know what everyone gets for dinner. Bucky Dent says, thoughts on Scott Yang. I don't know about Scott Yang, Bucky. I've never heard of him. 47 Straight says, I have zero problem with self-defense, personal or national. Same here.
Yeah.
But I completely oppose preemptive war or nation building. In other words, he opposes imperialism.
Right.
Yes? Yes. Okay. Now, Ronnie, you had some things to say. So I'm going to let you start talking. I have to step out of the room for a moment because I am drinking beer. But so I don't know this lady, Tulsi Gabbard, but
yeah, you got to get to know her, Ron. She's not good on the domestic policy stuff, like you said, but she's the most anti-war. Going for everything that you're saying right now with foreign policy stuff. She is way better than Trump on it, man, and way better than anybody else that's gonna run
okay,
for
but
president.
I mean, I don't latch. I'm very careful about latching on to these politicians. You know, you have to be very on guard about that.
I'm just saying, foreign policy wise, she speaks the truth, man. She speaks the truth.
That's good.
And Trump spoke the truth when he was running for president too.
Who?
Trump. He spoke the truth too.
I know, but you heard what I said. He's surrounded by these guys,
right?
These gangsters. So he's got to be very careful. So
I think he has inclinations to be anti-war, but I don't know why he surrounds himself with all these bozos like Bolton and Pompeo. I mean, he put him there, and they go against what he says.
But he might be doing what Michael Corleone advised in The Godfather Part 2: keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. In other words, he knows these people are evil, but the best way to keep them under control is keeping them close and have an eye on them at all times.
You really think he's doing that? I don't think that's true. I think you're giving way too much credit.
I didn't say I was giving him credit. I said perhaps this is part of his Jedi mind trick.
I think he's a Jedi. I think he likes to be surrounded by people who agree with him. And these guys will actually, they'll say they agree with him, you know, to his face, but they're doing all kinds of shenanigans behind the scenes.
I understand that, but he's trying not to. Look, he doesn't want to be driving down the highway in Dallas and get November 23rd, 1963. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's got to be very careful when he knows. I think in a way, you know, he and I don't know this. I said I think, don't know. He knows he's dealing with some dangerous people, okay? I'm talking about really dangerous people. They'll drop an atom bomb on your city, you know? They'll drop an atom bomb on your city.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if they will drop an atom bomb and kill 60,000 people that's laying in the bed in a nursing home or going to eat a sandwich before they go to work, why would they ever hesitate to kill you?
They wouldn't.
On TV. Now, maybe he's a goof, or maybe it's an act. Now, I tend to notice, I qualify my statements, tend to think that perhaps this goofy pro wrestling fanboy, you know, the Trump show is a game.
Reality star stuff.
It's a game to try to keep these nefarious, monstrous devils in check. I don't know this. Maybe he is what he appears to be. My suspicion is that he is not the goof he is portraying. Because this will be a very clever thing. I've done it myself over the years. You know, the Southern man character. You know, I get on the hangouts and I'm like, howdy, and all of this. And the people say, well, this guy's from Louisiana. He's got brain of a pea. You know, he's stupid. He's got no sense. He's dumb. So, and I'm thinking, good, good, good. So then they'll start talking and say silly things, and I'm just calculating and writing it down.
It doesn't matter where you're from. That doesn't mean how smart you are or anything like that.
I know what you're saying. I know that, but I'm saying so. But so you can kind of like say, okay. The whole point is that maybe they'll let their guard down, you know, and feel it's better to have people thinking they're dealing with a moron, because then they'll say more than they would normally say. And so I think Trump might want these imperialists around him, and they say, well, we're dealing with a guy who would rather eat a Big Mac than read a book. So we can take advantage. But you see, he's thinking, okay, I can just string them along, you know, string them along. But I'll be right back. You talk for a minute, and you know, like I said, I'm gonna let you have the floor. So I meant that. So you got the floor. There you go.
All right. Well, I think Trump he ran on a non-interventionist policy, and he follows through on some things. He wanted to take the troops out of Syria. He wanted to take the troops out of Afghanistan a few months ago. It was around the beginning of the year, and everybody's for it. Everybody wants to do that. The average American says yeah, and his own administration won't let him do it. He appoints these guys, like we were saying, John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of the State. These guys are neocons from the George W. Bush administration. They're leftovers from the Iraq War days, and they're there making the calls once again. And they don't agree with Trump on a lot of things, or at least publicly they don't. Ron has kind of a theory here, but I don't know how much water it has. But it does make some sense, I guess. But I mean, it's just like I think Trump got lost in the politics thing. He became president, and people are just crowding him around him, and they give him these briefings. They tell him, "Oh, we're going to war in Iran, and Iran is doing something." What is Iran doing? Iran is not doing anything right now, and we're sending ships over there for some reason, and the British officer, the commander in charge of the the mission to get ISIS out of the Middle East, whatever that mission is called. There's a British guy in charge of it, and he came out and said, "I don't see any intelligence saying that Iran is doing anything against America or America's interest."
Right.
And so why would this British guy say that?
Okay, look. That's what I'm trying to say. Now I'm not a defender of Trump.
Right. And I'm not either.
I voted for him. Okay, I'll admit that. I'm not deceptive. I'm a Democrat. I'll show you my ID card if you want to see the voter ID card. All right, now, okay. The proof's in the pudding. If the United States was to attack Iran, let's say the United States launched a war on Iran, I would be his biggest critic. I would go after him like nobody. You've never seen anybody go after him like I would be. I would be vociferous in every way. Mm-hmm. Just like I went after Bush in 2003. Oh, I was the bad guy then, you see. I'm still a bad guy. I'm still a bad guy. I called the radio show because they didn't really have the internet like we have now. 2002, 03. Yeah. They said, oh, so they called this. I'm talking about like the major radio station in New Orleans. I would call, so some other guy calls up and says, yeah, we know that guy, Ronald. He's always on the radio talking all that garbage, I said, yeah. But they were all like, hoorah, Marines. I'm for the veterans. I'm like, how are you for the veterans?
And how are you for the veterans if you are pro sending them off to get killed? How is that being for the military? That's the thing that doesn't make sense. And that's why I appreciate you doing this thing on Memorial Day weekend, man.
Right, because people always say the same thing. I've been dealing with this for so many years. They say, I'm so proud. I was crying. I was so full of tears when they played God Bless America, not with Kate Smith anymore because we found out she made an ugly song in 1939, but whoever was singing it. I was so touched. Now, so I said, well, How are you pro-veteran, like Ronnie's saying, if you want them to go get killed in some country they can't find on a map to protect us from some leader who has no way of getting to America and making us not free?
Smedley Butler said it 100 years ago. War is a racket, and he was right.
Who said that?
Smedley Butler. You know who that is?
I've heard the term "war is a racket."
His book was called War is a Racket. That's where the term came from. He
yeah.
he was in the Marines from like 1900 or the Spanish American War around that time until like the 1930s. He was had all kinds of stars and all that stuff. But he eventually, when he retired, he said, he came out and said, "I didn't fight for the United States. I fought for the United Fruit Company, because I was fighting in Central America and in Mexico, and just for the interests of the corporations, and I wasn't really fighting for the liberties, and all these guys are fighting for our liberties and all this stuff." That he said that he wasn't doing that, and
No,
it's not the fruit anymore. Now they're fighting for the oil companies.
Right. No. Right. Eugene V. Debs, who I don't support, he's a socialist, but he went to prison because he made a statement at a speech. He said, "World War I is a rich man's war and a poor man's fight." Got to prison for saying that in the land of the free, land of the free. Okay, now let's see. Let's look at some. How about we look at some comments?
Go ahead, man.
But I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me how people landing on a beach in 1944 lets me go to the beach today. Okay.
Well, Ron, they're fighting over there, so we don't have to fight them over here. That's a joke.
That's a joke. I know. I've heard that my whole life. Has it really all been self-defense war for the past 15 years in the Middle East? I think it's got to be a monetary reason they stay. Well, G and JK, believe me, it has nothing to do with self-defense.
No.
Offense is not defense, okay?
They should change the name of the Defense Department to the Offense Department.
Right, the Department of Offense. That you're correct. The Department of Offense, or the Department of Advancement of Imperialism.
And this stuff, what we're saying, is not against any veterans or any military people. And that's where you got to not get it misconstrued, because
that's how they come at you, because they say, you're not patriotic. You don't care about the veterans. It's so stupid. You know, we're not backing down anymore. You know, we've had millions of people die.
Screw that, man.
People die so that we can have rah-rah and a hot dog at a parade. Wrong. Now, SK Reviewer says, "Good day, gentlemen and ladies. Good day to you." Winnie Wynn says, "Follow the money. Who has the most to lose?" Brian Vaught says, "I believe these wars were planned." You think? About 25 to 30 years ahead of time. You think?
No, they're not thinking that far ahead. They're not that smart. Yeah,
I don't believe they're that smart. People give these people too much credit. They're evil, yes. Evil, yes. Evil.
Without just I don't even know if they're evil. I don't know if George Bush was evil. You know, I don't think he was evil.
Well, he was not. He was just dumb.
Yeah.
He was surrounded by evil people.
Cheney, you'd say he's evil?
I don't know. Was Hitler evil? Was
Cheney has some messed up things going on. I mean, I don't like to call people evil, but the stuff they do, you're right, it might be warranted.
Okay, I'm not saying he's evil. He just did terribly evil things.
Yeah.
No. All right. So see, I didn't say the man was evil. I say he did evil things. Winnie Wynn says the grand old party is great at sending other people's children to die.
It's not just a grand old party.
And you're talking about the Republican Party.
It's a Democrat too.
Yeah, let's defend the Republican Party, because I love how these Democrats, and I'm a Democrat, the Democrats say this: the Republicans, they believe in a war. Okay. This is true.
So do the Democrats.
But let's see, who got the United States involved in World War I? Let me think. Oh, a Democrat. Who got the United States involved in World War II? Oh, let me think. A Democrat. Who got the United States involved in the Vietnam War?
Korea. Don't forget about Korea.
Who got the United States involved in the Vietnam War? Oh, a Democrat. So
yeah, they were all Democrats.
If your dedication is to your political party, which is what they want you to be, then you can be a puppet, and you can get on Facebook and you can put a bunch of memes about "I hate the Republicans," and then, or you can do likewise. I hate the Democrats.
You're right. That's what they want. They want you to be Democrat versus Republican. Put yourself in this stupid little box, and that's not the way it works, man. That's just not the way it works. You got to think outside the box, and don't put yourself inside the box that CNN and Fox News wants you to be in.
That's what they want. That's what they want.
That's helping them out.
So Win, your statement is defective in the sense that what you should have said was these two political parties are great at sending other people's children to die. So that's showing me you have partisanship, and which is a very dangerous thing. Drayton Sawyer 69 says our interest in Iran is purely based on doing Israel's dirty work for them. Well,
that's true. We are Israel's puppet, basically.
I let Ronnie say that.
The true axis of evil in the Middle East is Saudi Arabia, USA, and Israel. That's the real axis of evil.
You see, you have to go back to 1917 to get to the root of this issue, and people don't want to go back to 1917 because they don't want to read books, they don't want to do anything, they want to watch Fox News and say, I got a flag, I eat hot dogs, I drive a Chevrolet.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fine. Like, people don't have to be so educated and everything like that, because that's not necessarily, I mean, it's good to be educated, but it's just don't be a follower. Don't think the government is always telling you the truth.
Now, here's some interesting comments. Winnie Wynn says, I love Ron's beer reviews, but his politics stink. No, you're not correct. My politics are exemplary.
No, they're both good. Politics and the beer reviews are good.
I would like you to demonstrate what you mean by that. You can come on. I'll send you the link. I told you I'll make a bargain, a great bargain.
Put the link in the chat, man.
Join. No, because then YouTube warns against that, because people who are like virus promoters, they'll take over your channel. But I would give him the chat. I'm on Facebook. He can look, anybody knows I'm on Alcohol Eggs and Facebook. They can contact me real fast and be on this.
And now, Ron, basically, to put this out there, we're not saying that we're against the military soldiers. We're against the Pentagon, right? Why does the USA have to spend more money than the next 23 countries combined on their military? And then we come out sometimes and say, oh, we're not spending enough on the military. But it's not to take away the benefits or anything like that of the soldiers, because that's not what it is. It's all going to BS, stuff. And you can't audit the Pentagon. They won't allow you. So we don't even know what the money's being spent on, right? It's being spent on the CIA and all this nonsense, these regime change stuff. And that's not going against the soldiers. That's going against the bullshit that's at the top. Okay, I mean, at least I don't have any problem with soldiers and being patriotic. That's cool.
No, we don't have any problem. We take no issue with them.
But like you said, they try to misconstrue it and make somebody who's anti-war look like somebody who's anti-American, and that's just not right. And that's why I really appreciate you doing this thing, man. On Memorial Day weekend of all, because this voice deserves to be put out there.
It deserves.
People need to be paying attention to this.
It has to be put out. Winnie Wynn says, I love Ron's beer reviews. His politics stink, but he doesn't back up what he's saying. Bucky Dent says, I call myself a populist leftist, but me and Ron's foreign policy line up pretty well. Well, like I say, Bucky Dent, whoever you are, he watches my videos. I don't know who he is. You're here. You can join the hangout. All right. Winnie Wynn says, I'm a British socialist. Okay, fine. Who loves a pint of John Smith's? I do like that too. And I'm a veteran of the first Gulf War, 1991, and Northern Ireland, the Northern Ireland Second Civil War.
Really? Wow.
That went on from 69 to 98. Well, I don't
know much about that.
I know a pretty good amount about that. So, well, Winnie Wynn, you said my politics are no good, but you didn't qualify in any way or explain that. So I would have to say your comment is invalid, because if I tell somebody something, I'm going to back it up. I'm not saying that to be ugly. Now, SK Reviewer says, who owns space? Okay, well.
Who owns space?
I'm going to put that down as like a.
Probably the USA owns space, I'd say, right? Who else is going to own it?
Yeah, who else is going to own it? But that's kind of like an off this topic comment. All right. Now, 47 straight says, nobody's taking away my freedom more than the U.S. government itself. Well, hey. Now notice we got 3 thumbs up. Good.
True that.
1 thumb down.
Well, let me give you a thumbs up, man.
Now, the funny thing about it, here's the thing that really is comical. You got this little mob, you know, this little brigade. They'll always thumb down every video. 5, 6, 7 people every video. Which they have a right to do because that's one of the options you can do when you get on Facebook. Fine.
We're not communists here.
We're not communists. But they don't have the guts to be what they should be. What I mean by that is this. Oh, 2 thumbs down. What I mean, you don't have the guts. Here is a video reviewer saying beer, and normally, you know, mostly beer. You can come onto his channel and take the channel over for 30 minutes and say whatever you got to say. Maybe I'm terrible. Maybe I do terrible beer reviews. Maybe I do terrible wine.
No, you don't. Honestly, you don't, man.
I know. But let's just, you know, hypothetically. I have horrible politics. No, but you don't have the guts to come on and say what you got to say, which is kind of sad, you know. Like if I give, and I don't ever really do thumbs down, but that's fine. I don't really do thumbs up either, honestly.
No?
I just watch the videos. I just watch the videos. Okay.
You don't give thumbs up?
I really don't do that.
I think, all right. So, and this is a totally different topic, but I think a creative person that's putting stuff out there on YouTube, if you're going to watch it and you go watch the whole video, you should give a thumbs up at least. Because, I mean, this person's putting themselves out there. You know, they're taking their time out to do this, like yourself. I don't think anybody deserves a thumbs down for that at all. But
I agree.
I think they do deserve a thumbs up.
I agree, and I'm not a thumbs downer. But what I was trying to say is that let's just say I watch a beer review and I take issue with what they're saying. It happens. Not
You just don't put anything. No thumbs up.
Oh, no way. No thumbs up or thumbs down. But wait a minute. Let's say they say something and I take issue with. I say, oh, no, that's wrong. I don't just take the easy way out and say down. I say, I'll make a comment. I'm typing.
Yeah.
I'll say, look, I don't understand what you're saying here because I found out about this beer was such and such and such. Blah, 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 blah. I give a well thought out comment. Now, 99% of the time I won't get a response. And if I do get one, it might be ugly because then they're getting defensive, which to me is a sign of weakness. Now, if people will make comments on my videos that are critical, I don't get defensive. If it's what you would call it constructive criticism. If it's just attack comments, we know the difference. We're not stupid. We'll say, no, look, let me tell you why I said this. Okay. You can always tell the attack commenters because they'll do it every video. They'll just say, you did this, did that, you did this. It's like, no, you're not watching the videos to engage and converse. You're in attack mode, and you'll do that forever. You're not going to come on. You're not going to tell.
You're just an internet troll.
You're like the troll under you're like the troll under the bridge, you know. You're not going to walk over this bridge, you know. Yeah. So, all right. But I'm that bargain is still out there. Okay, let's see comments.
Tulsi Gabbard for president in 2020, man. I'm putting her out there.
I didn't say that. Jeremy says gave you a thumbs up just now. Well, I'm not fishing. I'm not fishing for upvotes.
Jeremy's cool. Cheers, Jeremy.
I'm not fishing for that. Voltron says, hi, bro. Friar Tuck says, why does the United States have to be the world's police force? No, the United States does not have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Chose to be.
And who's they? They is the government. It's not us.
Not us. And this goes back to 1789. Okay. Ron, Winnie Wynn says, Ron, thumbs up. Great discussion, but Karl Marx was right.
Karl Marx wasn't right. Karl Marx, you know what? If you go back and read what Karl Marx actually said, talking about the problems between the rich and the poor, he made sense. He made some sense, but he got misconstrued, and he got misrepresented in a lot of ways. I mean, Leninists and Stalinists, they weren't really Marxists. They took Marxism and they turned it into their own thing.
Communist League of England hired Karl Marx to write the Communist Manifesto.
I didn't know that.
He, yeah, he. I don't want to get into Karl Marx. Okay, I'm not. I'm right. Everybody knows I have right-wing ideas. Okay, we all know that. That's like old news. Okay? So I mean,
Let me just say this real quick. Ron Paul said it eloquently that we can have differences in political parties or in ideologies, but we can agree on things. So Ron Paul, who is a libertarian, basically you call him a right wing guy, agreed
yes,
a lot with Bernie Sanders on the anti-war stuff.
yes,
Bernie Sanders, you say, is a complete left wing,
right.
a guy over there. And so these guys, Ron Paul and Bernie Sanders, were able to agree that the United States going to war in some Middle Eastern country for no reason is a bad idea. Okay, so these guys, basically on two different spectrums of what you're going to call right and left, could agree on the issues that they could agree on, and that's where they would meet together, right? And so it's not all that you just have to be. I'm over here and you're over there. There's different policies and there's different ideas that you can agree on or you can disagree on, and you can't just put yourself in a box.
Oh, but these dedicated people, they'll never compromise. You know, like you got the real dedicated ones, they'll never compromise. Like they could stop all war on the planet, and they would say, "Screw that! I'd rather everybody die before I make a deal with that guy. I don't like him personally." This is their mentality.
Because they watch cable news, and
Right.
and that is poisoning. It already poisoned. It poisoned America already. But the good thing is that if you look at the demographics of the people who watch CNN or Fox News, I heard that they are average about 60 years old, average. So, that makes them pretty old. Okay. So the people coming up now, or the younger generation or so, they're getting the news from different sources. Hopefully it's not from Facebook, but they're getting it from, maybe something like this, alternative media.
Right.
And that's a lot of those people actually tell you the truth. And you can't just go on the internet and what you read or what you see is going to be right. You got to do a little bit of research.
Right. Now, I agree with that. Now, Jeff Mathis says, "Do you think Trump is real?" He's real,
Is he real? What kind of question is that?
but we know what you're saying. But I think yes, but time will tell. Bucky Dent said, "I can't jump on today, but I'd love to later." You can jump on. G and JK says, "In my opinion, the United States uses its soldiers to further its own secret agendas or to overthrow
It's not a
government."
secret. It's not a secret agenda. It's out there.
Right, or to destabilize areas as part of a long game where they get more money or power in the Middle East, for example. Look, that's been going on since 1898.
Not
This is
secret.
not new. It's not secret. You can subscribe to their magazine. You can get Foreign Affairs magazine and read what they're going to do. They're like brash about it. And now Winnie Wynn says support the people.
And that's why I think the people give the government too much credit by saying that they're doing secret stuff, because it's not secret. It's right out there in the open. You don't give them so much credit.
But
They're
people don't.
letting you know what they're doing.
Right, people don't even bother reading. Now Winnie Wynn says support the people of Palestine. Okay, so you're being partisan. I'm saying I stand with neutrality.
Support the people of Palestine. Yeah, sure.
I like Palestinians, whether they're Catholic or
Support the people of Ireland. Support the people of Germany, of anywhere. Support everybody.
I support. Okay, so I stand with you, Winnie Wynn. I support all countries.
Right.
Okay, Jeremy Vincent says, "Cheers, Ronnie." Voltron says, "Libertarian man here." I tend to be libertarian, obviously right wing, but SK says, "If people who own land or property could only vote," what are you saying?
I know
Okay.
what he's saying. He's saying that if you own land, you should be the one to vote, not everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that has some validity to it, actually.
Yeah, I tend to believe that. All right, Friar Tuck says Bernie Sanders has a couple of good ideas, but the rest is crap. He believes in I could do without. Yeah, I mean, I don't support Bernie Comrade Sanders. Here's a guy, he's anti-war, but yet you could show where he supported.
Well, you can agree with him at least on the anti-war stuff.
But there's problems with that.
There's problems with what?
Well, here's Bernie Sanders. Here's the same guy who you could probably find speeches in 1985 where he was trying to raise money. trying to raise money for terrorist groups in South Africa, you know, supporting the
Oh yeah, and I bet if you go back to 1985, you're not going to find that from Ron Paul.
African National Congress and all this. No, because Ron Paul was always.
I gotta say, he's the most truth-telling politician that there's ever been out there. You can't find a fault in this guy because he speaks from principles. He doesn't speak from party lines. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. I've been hearing about Ron Paul since 1988. Steve,
go back and watch some of his videos on the lead up to the Iraq War. He was telling the total truth to an empty Congress. Nobody was even there. Nobody wanted to hear it.
Very powerful. I wrote emails to the Speaker of the Parliament in Iraq, and then my friend Paul said, "Well, that's why when you tried to join the military, they told you no." He thought it was about your skin condition. He said, but it was really because they had you on fire.
Like anybody, they don't give a crap, man. That's not.
No, I tried to join the Coast Guard Reserve. I tried to join the Navy Reserve. I tried to join.
Really?
They said no. You got skin trouble. I said, well, you told me you wanted me to be in Navy intelligence, where I'll sit at a desk like I'm doing now, doing research on groups. I said, I'm not going to be like in a foxhole with barbed wire with bombs going off.
Ron, when I was 17 years old, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
They said, no, you have medical problems. I said, okay, you can't say I didn't try to join up. I'm talking about in 2002.
That's interesting.
But my friend Paul said, no, they got you on record. You know, you call, because, all right, you know, I had a few little things in my history. Like in 1999, I called the Yugoslavian embassy, talked to them for about 5 minutes about the United States bombing attack on Yugoslavia.
Yeah, the Clinton bombings that nobody knows about.
Bill Clinton, when he ordered the bombing attack on Yugoslavia in 1990, I called the Yugoslavian embassy and I talked to them. And my friend Paul said, they're tracking you.
The Clinton administration dropped more bombs over Iraq than the Bush administration did, and nobody knows that.
And then I had written some emails to various people, you know, in 2002, and my friend Paul said, no, they've got you tracked. You're not going to join the military. They're not going to let you in. I said, okay. All right.
When I was 17 years old, I was set to join the U.S. Army. I took the test. I even picked a job. You know why they didn't let me in? Because I failed the drug test because I smoked marijuana. Right? That was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, man. Because I was a youth. I didn't know what I was doing. And you got these guys walking around in uniform in my high school, and they're like, "Oh, come join up with us, and we'll help you out." You know, and that's what they do. They go around to the underprivileged, to the people, to the youth. 17 years old, man, you don't know what the hell you're gonna do. A lot of these kids, and they take advantage of them. And they say, we're gonna give you this what is it, a $20,000 bonus? Yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that.
And you can get free tuition for college, and they know these people are not college material.
Exactly.
You know, 99% are never going to graduate. All right.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, was failing that drug test.
Well, the thing about it, you know, they're very clever because they go to people who are not academic, and they offer all these academic benefits, but they're not going to take advantage of them. All right. Bernie Sanders. Okay, let's see. Steve from Philly says, Ronnie the Riot. When he went, okay.
Who's he talking about, you or me?
I guess both of us. When he wins says, who is the young guy? Speaks a lot of sense. Yes. Friar Tuck says, I thumbed this down. Friar Tuck says, I thumbed down this video to stir the pot. Okay, thank you.
Friar Tuck, all right.
That's Patrick. You know,
there's some more guys in here. Come on, guys. Join up.
G and JK says they certainly deserve some credit if they are doing it right in everyone's faces. I think there's no secrets. It's just ridiculous. No, this is like a open conspiracy. These people know they'll just have a meeting.
Yeah.
They'll do it online. They'll just tell you what they're going to do, but they know nobody's going to do it. They're too busy watching.
And it's not Trump. Trump's not part of the conspiracy, the open conspiracy. It's not Trump. It's the guys that he's appointing, which is what is interesting. Why does he appoint these guys?
I'm saying probably to keep an eye on them, but I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Has the United States attacked Iran yet? No.
It looks like they're getting close to it, though. I don't think they're going to attack Iran. I think they're gonna wait for. They're gonna put a bunch of troops around Iran in that area, and they're gonna wait for some kind of what's called a false flag type thing to go down, and that will be like, oh, like this
Oh,
this
right.
this
Yeah,
this
yeah,
place
yeah,
got
yeah.
bombed, and we had our troops over there, even though they're not supposed to be there. And let's go. Let's now we gotta go fight them.
Bucky Dent says, I think Bernie's all right, 7 out of 10. Well, I'm a generous person. I give him one out of 10. Okay, now 47 straight says, I'm a recovering neocon. Sorry. Uh-oh.
Me too. I mean, when I was a young kid during the Bush administration, and I believed all that crap, man. So when I first got involved, or when I first started paying attention to politics, I could have considered myself a neocon, you know, because I believed what was going on at the time, and I think that's just shameful, man. I think that's
Well, but you can break out of that because you can learn, you can study, you can read.
exactly, yeah.
Tip and T says, you ever heard of a targeted individual or gang stalking? Yes. Yes, it's very common on the internet.
What, a targeted individual?
Or gang stalking. That's where
I never heard of that.
well, you get like people, they were talking about this on YouTube back in February. You get like a gang of people, they'll say, well, I don't like this guy. And they'll like get all their friends together and they'll stalk them, you know.
It's just like, okay, that's childish, man. What are you, freaking elementary school? Come on.
Yeah, but they're like 49 years old. All right. Voltron says, what skin issue do you have? I have eczema. Well, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It cuts like tissue paper. So, you know, literally, I should not be in the military. I couldn't take it on the battlefield. But I wasn't being hired to do that. They knew the Navy intelligence was hiring me to sit at a computer and do Navy intelligence research. I was not going to be on a battlefield, but
So Ron, you really believe that you didn't get in because you made phone calls and doing stuff like that?
I really don't know why I didn't get in. They said they had to do a background check on me.
You didn't fail the drug test like me.
Never took drugs in my life. I didn't have any arrests. I had no legal problems. They were all gung ho. They were gung ho about it.
I heard actually in the years subsequent to 03, they let the drug test stuff go because they needed a lot of people to go into Iraq.
Right. They were hot. They were hot to hire people in 03. I mean, they were hot.
Well, that's when I took it, was in 03, and they didn't let me in. But
Well,
I think up to like 07, they let it go. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
They told me no, forget it. Now my friend Paul, who used to do hangouts with us, he said that's why they told you no. But I mean, I don't know. They didn't ever. I didn't worry about it. All right, let's see. Let's go on to Friar Tuck says, I believe that if I made the money, I should get the benefit from the money, not give it to the greater good. I don't want to work and get this because job causes me anxiety, so give me medical plan BS.
What?
Okay.
What money? What are you talking about?
Money for what? I don't know. All right, Tip and T says, Ronald, have you ever heard of targeted individuals? Yes, I said that already. Winnie Wynn says, geez, I'm going to give Louisiana a miss on my U.S. holiday. Are you Southerners all crazy, right-wingers?
No, because I'm not Southerner. So here we go.
We are right-wing, but we're not crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, Winnie Wynn, this is the funny thing. Winnie Wynn is angry now.
About what?
With no explanation. And he is just angry. He doesn't say, well, I don't like you, Louisiana Beer Reviews, because you're anti-war. I don't like you because you criticized.
He doesn't like you because you don't conform to his worldview of what Fox News is telling him. And when he went, I'm not saying that that's you.
No, he said he's socialist.
Oh, okay.
So
So what? I mean, it's kind of like you're putting yourself in a socialist box, or you're putting yourself in a Fox News box. It's still a box.
No, look at this comment. He said, "Are you Southerners all crazy right-wingers?"
I'm not a Southerner.
I don't know what he's talking about. You're not backing up your statements. Now you're going off the deep end. I'm sorry, Winnie Wynn. You could be on this hangout. Your comments are really, frankly, invalid. He's got a picture of a dog with Trump. He's trying to make a dog. And now Michael Smith said right-wingers make sense. This one does. Tip and T says it's real, Ronald. It's sad.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm not going to be on long. Corey, Koan Noor says European Parliament vote was today. Huge gain for nationalist parties against forming a European army. There's already NATO. Greetings from Germany. Hello, Koan. Yeah, there's a huge nationalist movement going on in Europe. I predicted this 6-7 years ago. People thought I was silly, but now they're saying that I'm not silly. Steve from Philly says alcohol is a drug, Advil is a drug. Okay, all right, we know
Yeah,
that.
it's a drug, but that's not the point of the conversation here.
Yeah, we are aware of that. Winnie Wynn says Michael Smith for who? Fascist and uneducated? Oh, nice. Talking about fascists. Well, you know where that's going.
You know what fascism is? Fascism isn't Hitler and guys in stormtrooper uniforms walking around. Fascism is the collaboration of the state and the big corporations. That's really what fascism means. The fascism is an economic term, and it means the control basically of private businesses by the state. Okay, so it's very akin to socialism. Okay, and people don't think of it like that. They think of it, oh, fascism is just what Hitler did and when the Nazis did. That was fascism because Hitler actually was a socialist,
Yeah, a national socialist.
just like Stalin was, who was our big partner in World War II in the Greatest War, right? But fascism, we are a fascist country. If you think about it in economic terms, that the state, you know, puts down the regulations and puts down all these things that the private businesses have to do. Fascism is the collaboration of big business and big government, and that's what the U.S. is doing right now. What they've been doing, and a lot of other countries do.
Ronnie, you can't tell these people anything. Look, Mussolini was the head of the Italian Socialist Party until 1914.
What I'm saying is, fascism doesn't have to do with stormtroopers
I
and
know that. I
all
know
that
that.
stuff.
I know that. Stalin was as much of a fascist as Hitler. He just joined the right team. Look,
Fascism is an economic term.
I know that. But people like Winnie Wynn like to say that stuff when they are on a roll and they can't get on the internet and do the hangouts, so they got to do the little personal attacks.
I think you should send a personal message to Winnie Win with the hangout.
Right. Well, hey.
Let's get some dissenters in here. This is interesting.
Steve from Philly says, Ron said he never took drugs. Give me a break. Well, I never took drugs. I took aspirin when I got a headache.
Why? Why do you give you a break for what, man?
Oh, I had students used to get mad at me. They'd ask me, they say, Mr. Terrio, you ever smoke marijuana? I said, no. They said, you lie. I said, well, first of all, if I told you, yeah, I did it, then you'd say, oh, you're just like us. And if I say no, you're accusing me of lying, so I can't win. But I'm telling you the truth. Now, whether you believe it or not,
I believe you. That's fine.
But they would say, you real, you real. I said, I know I'm real. I mean, if I smoke
really real.
First of all, if I smoke marijuana, I would just tell you. All right. Tip and T says, I'm not talking about that Vice documentary either. They tried to make it seem crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Vice does some documentaries. I don't know which one he's talking about, but they do pretty good ones though. Michael
Smith said, laughing out loud, I'm from Seattle, not Southerner and certainly not uneducated. These liberals are always throwing insults when someone objects to their opinion. No respect. I agree with that. Like,
it's not just the liberals though. It's the other guys too.
The neoconservatives. Look, I've been dealing with this for 10 years. You get on social media and you start promoting an anti-war opinion, and the first thing I'll hear from people is, you're Southern. It's like, wow, what does that have to do with people landing on the beach in Normandy, France in 1944? Oh, I see. You can't defend your position, so you got to attack people's regional origin. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have the guts to come on.
Got nothing to do with it.
You don't have the guts to come on here and appear and state your position. So you take the weasel way out and you want to put a thumbs down.
Let's support the troops.
Go get your friends, support the troops. Get your relatives, go get people you don't know and put 200 thumbs down. Be a man.
I want to go to war with Iran. Let's support the troops. Yeah. Okay.
and they'll say, you don't support the troops. That's another tired argument, and it makes no sense.
It's very tired. I mean, it's so tired that it shouldn't be, even around anymore. But it's the biggest argument that's out there, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Bricks Lynn said, how do you do, Ronaru? I'm fine. And then Brandon says, alcohol is most definitely a drug. Coffee too. Okay, well.
Okay, well, who cares?
Yeah, that really is not the point of the video, but I'm glad you brought that up. All right, a Winnie Win. Bucky Dent says, Winnie Win, I'm a socialist from the South, but I'm not throwing insults like you, and I disagree. Grow up. I agree with that, Bucky, because I don't know what Winnie Win is trying to, I don't know what he's doing. Now, Winnie Win, look, I don't know who you are. You watch my videos, you make good comments. Okay. I've dealt with people in the past that will say, oh, you hurt my feelings. I'm unsubscribing to your channel. You can go to hell. I'm like, wow, I don't get this. You're engaging the conversation. You're manning up. Well, if you're going to man up, don't baby out. Because I'm being the most generous video reviewer on the planet, because I'm saying you can take over my channel for 30 minutes. I'll time it, and you'll have 30 minutes of unexpurgated commentary. Now that's a deal. But yeah. I think I'll hear. Good deal. That's a great deal. And I think I'll hear from Winnie Win in the future, because I think he's a real man. It's not his real name, obviously. Okay, let's see. Michael Smith says, yeah, that's true. Just want respect on both sides, but it won't happen. I agree with that. Winnie Win says, Hitler murdered thousands.
Okay, no, but I have something to say about what that comment was. He says he wants respect on both sides. There's not both sides. There's not a side here and a side there. Okay? And that's the thing that you got to understand. It's not putting yourself into a box here and a box over here. We are a whole thing, right? And we should be talking about the whole picture. It's not, oh, Trump is this and Trump is that, and then you got some wackos over here. That's not what it is about. We should be talking about the whole entire picture, the truth, from the history. Go back, that far back to what everybody's talking about, and to what's really going on. And that's the point here, is to open up your mind and look at what's really happening, man. That's all I want to say about that one comment.
I agree with that. Now, here's some interesting comments. Winnie Win says, Hitler murdered thousands of socialists in the name of nationalism and right-wing fascism. I don't know what that has to do with me saying that people dying on a beach in Normandy, France, did not give me the freedom to go on a hiking trail in 2019.
Now, is this hiking trail that you're going on, is this federally owned, this land?
Oh, I'm just saying, hypothetically, I like to go in these national wildlife refuges. Yeah, they're all owned by the U.S. government, yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that the U.S. government should be owning all this land?
No, I think it should be a state wildlife refuge.
You think the state should own it? Or you think it should just be private?
Well, ideally, it should be private. But if the government's going to own it, I obviously think the state should own it.
Okay.
State nature trail, U.S. nature trail.
Because if the big evil corporations own it, they'll just pollute it all.
Right. There'll probably be like every mile there'll be like where you can stop and get like a coffee or something.
So your question here is what happened in World War II? Why does that make you free?
Yeah. No, the question of the video is, war did not give me recreation. But like all these hangouts, they always go into these sideline topics. Winnie Win's talking about Hitler murdered socialists.
All right. So the thing here, Ron, is that they're fighting them over there, so we don't have to fight them over here. That's never going to get tired. Right. They're gonna keep throwing that out there.
And Tip and T said everybody should research gang stalking.
Who are they fighting over there? Are they fighting Al Qaeda? They're teaming up with Al Qaeda in Syria.
Right. And Tip and T, that's right. Tip and T said everybody should research gang stalking. It's taken over America.
So 9/11 happens and we're all anti-terrorists all of a sudden, but then we're gonna go team up with Al Qaeda. I mean, that's what's happening. That's what had been happening. I don't think it's so much anymore now that Syria is winding down. But what they really want to do, and this is what Tulsi Gabbard has a lot to say about, is regime change wars. And
we don't support that. We don't support that. Wait, hold on. Okay. Winnie Win says here's where it's getting to like getting kind of ugly. Winnie Wynn tells Bucky Dent, throw insults, stand up for your beliefs. And then Winnie Wynn said, I thought this was a discussion. Well, it obviously is a discussion. He said, my name is Corporal Steve Winspear. Okay. All right, good. All right, now you're getting at your real name, Corporal Steve Winspear. All right. Now here's
Thank you for your service, right? That's what we're supposed to say?
Yes. Thank you for your service. Now,
right? Because we have to say that, otherwise we're bad guys. You know, we're anti-patriotic and all that stuff.
we appreciate the people's service. We appreciate their service. Okay. Now, you know I'm on alcohol eggs.
So we don't want to send you to Syria. We don't want to send you to Iraq, Winnie. We don't want to send you over there for no reason, for a bullshit ass reason of weapons of mass destruction that were never there. That's what we're saying, Winnie. That we don't want to do that to you.
Even if they were there. Now, here's the cut and dry of it. Okay, now you gave your real name. Everybody knows I'm on alcohol eggs. I got the same icon on Google, Facebook, all of that, the Falstaff. You can join up, get your link, and come on here, and you can defend your position. And you cannot say we didn't let you come on here. Corporal Steve Winspear, you have carte blanche to join this hangout. Don't say I didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, please, I would like them to.
Right. And if you say, well, it was late and I couldn't join, well, we'll let you join another day. We'll come on. We have time. All right. Now, Brandon Dvorak says, I really enjoy your political videos. I like learning things. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's the whole point of it. Bucky Dent says, you won't change people. You won't change people by insulting them. You change people through logic and debate. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, he's being defensive now saying, oh, well, I'm a corporal and I was, but wait, you said I was a Southerner and I had right-wing beliefs and I was unreasonable or whatever you said. I wasn't. I never came on this video one time and said I'm from the South.
Well, your channel is called Louisiana Beer Reviews.
No, my channel is my name, but that's the name.
Right. Yeah, I guess your sub name or whatever.
Right. But I never said anything about here's my regional disposition. I never said here's my political disposition. My video said war did not give me recreation. Okay. So don't get upset when you started the attack. And I'm not angry. And if you were my Facebook friend, I wouldn't get hurt in my behind and go unfriend you because I don't play that. Bucky Dent says, you won't change. Oh, okay. Voltron says, when I looked up what weapons ISIS has, it's all American. It makes you wonder who's outfitting them. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. They're outfitting them, but they're also finding weapons in Iraq that were supposed to be for the Iraqi soldiers, the Iraqi government soldiers that they took over. They
just abandoned the weapons. They abandoned the weapons, yeah.
But we also were supplying them. That can't really be proven, but the Obama administration was supplying ISIS.
Right, and people kept asking, why is ISIS is not ever attacking Israeli assets ever? Who's supposed to be their greatest enemy, makes you wonder. Now, Tip and T said, this guy won't talk about my comment. He knows about this topic. He's scared to talk about it.
Which guy?
When he said, I love this discussion. I prefer your beer reviews.
All right. Well, this is just a sub thing that Ron does.
Winnie Win, look. Let's get something straight. I like the beer reviews. I do them practically every day. Okay. They're nice. They're enjoyable. They're not that important. Some people think they're important. I don't know why they think they're important. They're not. War, government, the law, people's freedom. That's really important. We're not attacking you, Winnie Win. Like we said, you're welcome to join this discussion live, and I will give you 30 minutes, and that's a bargain. Well, anyway, that's enough talking.
Well, how is Winnie going to get in here? If you're inviting him in, how is he going to get in? Does he have the link anywhere?
I told him I'm on Facebook on Alcohol Legs. Let me check. He can join. He can attach. He can connect to me right now. He's obviously on the internet right now, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't have the link. Right there, maybe.
Doesn't matter. He can attach to me. what I'm saying is he can connect to me through alcohol eggs, right? He can become a friend, a Facebook friend, pretty
right.
much.
Yeah.
And then I can send him the link. Let's see. My friend David is saying he left a water bottle in my freezer and he wants me to hold on to it. I said, okay. I'm not trying to
A water bottle. It's probably ice frozen right now.
It was getting pretty hard, so I put it in the regular. Hey, David, I'm not trying to steal your water. When he left, I looked in the freezer, and I said, "Oh, you left a water bottle." So I just took it out the freezer, and I put it in the regular fridge.
So, Ron,
Okay.
you think we're gonna go to war with Iran in the next year or so? What do you think's happening with that?
I don't think they will. No.
It's ramping up. It looks like, and I don't think that they have as much leeway as they had back in.
That's the Jedi mind trick.
All right. I don't think they have as much leeway as they had in 03 with Iraq. That people are just gonna go for it and think it's okay. There's a lot of apathetic Americans.
A lot of people have woken up to that.
It's something that's funny. They say they don't. A lot of Americans don't know the difference of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Mexico. So I mean, if the government tells them that there's shit going on, they're just gonna go for it.
Okay. My thematic is that I think Trump's playing a mind game, and he's going to string it along till November, and then once he gets back in and he has his party, remember his party doesn't like him, but doesn't matter. His party in power, then he can do what he wants, and that would be make friends with Russia, make friends with Syria, make friends with North Korea, make friends with Iran. I think the big surprise would not be that the United States would go to war with Iran. I think the big surprise would be that Trump would show up in Tehran in a summit meeting with the Iranian leaders.
Oh, try to be like getting the Nobel Peace Prize with North Korea.
This would be a great thing. This would be a great thing because then they could make peace with Iran, and then all the liberals would know what to do because they're supposed to be anti-war, and what were they going to do now? Say the United States should bomb Iran? So that would be a great thing he could do to make sure he gets reelected, to make peace with Iran. You see,
a theory I hear too is that Trump is anti-war for Afghanistan, for Iraq, and for Syria, but that's only because he wants to have his own war and get the troops out of there and send them into Iran. I don't know how true that is.
I don't believe that. Okay, let's look at the comments, and we're going to get off the internet. He says, trying to follow what Tip and T's saying. Tip and T says, okay, then, Ronald, I was trying to hear your opinion, but it's okay. The guy you're interviewing is a brainwashed know-it-all. How is he
brainwashed by who? Who am I brainwashed by? I mean, he's not interviewing me. It's an open discussion.
Yeah, I'm not interviewing him. He just chose to join the link because he has access to it, just like you could join.
And I'd like to know who am I brainwashed by?
Right, and who's brainwashing? Are you on Facebook, says Voltron? Go to Alcohol Eggs. If you go to Alcohol Eggs, you're going to recognize that false staff icon. You can send me a friend request. I'll approve it. I'm not going to hang out and talk with you at 4 a.m, but you could join the Hangouts. That's the problem when I get these Facebook friend requests.
Brainwash, man. I take offense to that. Brainwashed by who?
That is the old trick of the troublemakers. They don't know what they're talking about, so they say, brainwashed, you're Southern, you're Catholic, you're right wing, you're left wing.
That's another thing, putting you in a box. There's no boxes here. You don't need to be in a box. I don't need to be in a Catholic box. I don't need to be in a box of the state that I live in.
I've been dealing with these kind of people for Jeremy, for a long time. Jeremy said this has been interesting to watch. Thank you.
Jeremy's cool. Jeremy, you should join too, man. I'd like to hear your point of view on this.
Yeah, but I got to get off. I'm going to walk, and then I might join their homebrew hangout if they're still on.
Are they still doing that?
I don't know. Winnie Wynn says, I have followed you on YouTube. He says TY, but he meant YT. YouTube for years. If you ever come to Great Britain, please visit me. I'd love to introduce you to the English pubs. Best not talk politics. Well, I might do. You see, I wouldn't.
You know what? You know what it is, Ron? Everybody wants to not talk politics, not talk religion. This isn't politics per se. This is just real life. This is,
Right.
you know, real
Well,
shit going on.
yeah, and here's the problem. Like he said, don't go to a pub and talk politics. You see, me, I wouldn't. I would just go to a pub and say, "Oh, look, I'm trying this beer," and then I would drink it and say, "Oh, it's pretty malty," you know. And
Right.
then the English guys
Which
might
you're
say,
good at. You're good at doing that stuff.
"Thank you." But then you see, this is the problem I've been in the past. The English guys might say, "Oh, yes, you're from America," and I'd be like, "Yeah." "Oh, you're from Louisiana. Isn't that in the South?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And I'd be kind of like picking up where they're going with that. And they'd say, "Well, oh boy, wasn't that part of the Confederacy?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And then they would like launch into some like big thing.
Really?
And I would tell Winnie when I'd say, "Hey, Winnie, you know, I told you I wasn't going to initiate the conversation, but I always told you I was never going to back down. So when these people get schooled and they go home crying, don't blame me because they came into the lion's den. I was just over here licking my paws and just minding my business. They came to me with this aggression. I didn't.
There's no aggression here. No
Yeah,
aggression here at all.
I did not come to the pub to try to fix these people's attitude.
There's a thing called the non-aggression principle.
Right.
Look it up.
The non-aggression principle. But they came at me, so when I had to fix their attitude, they got upset. And then you said I was making people feel uncomfortable at the pub. They're the ones that brought it up when he win. You know what I mean? Like I've been in these situations before where people start laying these little, you know what I mean? They like setting little landmines and they set them off and they're waiting for you to respond. And then when you respond, they say, "Oh, well, you know, you were talking about all that stuff." I was like, "No, you initiated it. I was talking about hops.
Right. Yeah.
I was talking about malt and yeast. You brought up the Confederacy. And then you wanted to see what I was going to do. And when I did it, you got upset."
The Confederacy. What does that have to do with you? Because you're from Louisiana? Have you really experienced people saying stuff like that?
Only my whole life. Look, but, you know, it's like, but if you want to set off grenades, I'll throw grenades with you. Don't be mad when you get hit with shrapnel, you know. But, okay, let's see. We got to get off it. All right. I was trying to talk about a certain topic, but we wouldn't talk.
All right, so let's give a final decision on what your question was. That how does?
Oh wait. Let me read the comments, then we'll close it up.
All right.
Tip and T said I was trying to talk about a certain topic, but he wouldn't let you talk. He got all uptight when I brought up gang stalking. No one got uptight when you brought up gang stalking.
I was just wondering what you were talking about, man. I'd never heard that before.
No one got uptight. We know all about it. They do this all day. That's why YouTube was talking about getting rid of thumbs up and thumbs down. Back in February, they said their final solution was to get rid of that because of the mob mentality. All right, so Joe says, sad news, former YouTube beer reviewer Hoggy collapsed. What? Wait. Hoggy, then he retracted it. I don't know what he's talking about.
Who's Hoggy?
Hoggy used to do beer reviews back in 2011, 12, 13.
Oh, so maybe something happened to him.
I mean, unless he was making a joke and he retracted because he felt it was inappropriate. I don't know why he retracted it. All right. Voltron says, okay, I'm looking up alcohol eggs.
Alcohol eggs.
No, not alcohol eggs. Alcohol legs. It's a Facebook group, Alcohol Legs. Let me type it in so they'll know. Alcohol legs.
It could be eggs. Alcohol can have taste of eggs.
The little things that drip down. Now, G and JK says, laughing out loud. Okay, let's see. Tip and T says, you're scared to talk about targeted individual or gang stalking. Your interview knows all about. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not interviewing me, first of all. And second of all, we're not afraid to talk about anything.
I don't know what he's talking about. It's just talking trash, really. Winnie Wynn says, ha, 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 the right are always victims. Who's the
Sometimes they
victim?
are. Sometimes they are. I mean, sometimes the so-called right are far from victims, man.
Yeah, who's the victim? I don't know who you're talking about because you're not talking to Fox News. This is not this is me. Whoever said I was a victim? What are you talking about, Winnie Win?
When you win, man.
This is, who's the victim? When did the word victim ever come up?
Yeah. When you win, I don't know, man.
Joe says, okay, well, these comments are funny. Joe says, here's what I found. The person likely to make ridiculous political statements usually live in a bubble. They can't take someone who can argue what they believe.
So who's making a ridiculous political statement? Is he saying that you're doing that?
I don't know what he's
First
talking
of all,
about.
you're not making a political statement. You're just saying you're anti-war. Okay, that's pretty much a moral statement. It's not a political statement.
Right. That's right. And Tip and T said he just tried to faux it again. I don't know what that means. Then Winnie Win says, Ron, I face real bullets, not right-wing snowflakes. Okay.
Come on, man.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm very proud of you.
I'm not glad to hear that. That sucks. That you're facing real bullets. You don't want to face real bullets if you're in Iraq or if you're in Chicago, right? Why would you want that?
I don't know. That's an old thing I've been dealing with for years. People say, well, I was in the war, so that gives me carte blanche to insult
Tulsi
people.
Gabbard is a 2-time veteran of Iraq, and she's anti-war.
I don't understand why people miss the point of the video. We support the people who were in the line of fire.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
We're
That's
saying
what they chose to do,
the point
right?
of the point of the video is that there should not be a line of fire because 99.9% of the time, the line of fire is a contrived thing.
I want to say this right now. I live on Long Island, right? And the only two school districts where the ROTC is allowed to have an installation. ROTC is, I think it stands for. Do you know what it stands for? It's like a branch of the Air Force where they basically train you from 9th grade to 12th grade to be in the military. Okay, and then once you graduate, you can go join whatever.
I know all about it. I know all about it.
The only two school districts where they are installed are the two poorest school districts on Long Island. I didn't know that when I was in school. I thought it was normal, right? I thought it was normal because I was in one of those school districts, and there was always Marines walking around with their uniforms and look all nice. Why is it that they are only installed in these two poor school districts? So they can take advantage of these kids who don't know what the hell they're doing, whose parents aren't really, coming from economic means, and send them off to Yale or whatever the hell it is. Why is that? Why and how is that considered fair? And how is that considered the land of the free? By being a vulture on these kids, man. These are kids that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, now Voltron says I sent a join request. Okay, Voltron, I've already approved that you're a member of Alcohol Legs now. See, I'm not playing games on here. If I tell you you can join Alcohol Legs, you can join.
And then if you happen to join up, that's I know a lot of people who did, and that's it takes some courage to do that, and you deserve respect.
Right.
But what we're saying is that we don't agree with government policies that are sending you off to the Middle East for bullshit ass reasons.
To die for nothing.
That's what we're saying.
Like on Fox News, every time I wake up in the morning, they're showing some lady whose legs got blown off. And they're saying she did this to make us free. I said, no, she did this for nothing. Her legs got blown off for nothing.
And it's not to protect your freedoms. It's not to protect your liberties.
It's to promote imperialism.
It's not. It's not.
Right. Because who wants to believe that they got their legs shot off for nothing?
For maybe for oil or for just some other bull crap.
Right.
You don't want to think that.
You don't want to think that.
Right.
Now Joe says, okay, we got to get off of this. I like your channel, Ronald. Just big topic in my life, and I want to talk about more than 5 seconds. I understand. I'm not upset. I never get offensive. I mean, defensive about these things. Joe says, I'm saying a British person who brings up the Confederacy probably is used to speaking to people who agree with them. Oh, yes, I definitely agree with that. And then Joe said, I agree with you guys. I'm backing you up. I appreciate it. SK Reviewer said, been a very good video. Jeremy said, I agree. And then Ronnie makes good points, says Jeremy. Greetings, fellow Long Islander, says the man with the plan.
Oh, cool. Man.
Voltron says, but I'll always be remembered as the alcohol eggs guy. No, we're not going to hold that against you. Winnie Wynn said, I never brought up the Confederacy. I didn't say you brought up the Confederacy. I said I use that as an example. I didn't say you, Winnie Wynn. I said as an example of people trying to bring up straw man arguments.
Yeah.
I did not place words in your mouth. Nowhere in this feed, and people are welcome to go back and watch the whole long video. There is no point in the video where I said Winnie Wynn mentioned the Confederacy. Never said that.
And this was not an interview. Ron does these things. He invites people on. He usually does it, during the day when I'm at work. But I like watching his views on the anti-war stuff, and I'm glad that I could join today because I think this was cool.
And then Winnie Wynn says, "Great discussion, man. You won't hear this on mainstream media." I agree.
You won't. That's true.
And Winnie Wynn, you might be left wing or whatever, but look, this is where the pavement, the rubber hits the road. You can say this about me, that about me, whatever. Maybe it's true. A lot of it probably is. But nobody can say I didn't offer open engagement on this channel. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can get on here showing their real face, saying what they got to say. And that includes Winnie Wynn or Jeremy or Ronnie or anybody else. And if you say I'm wrong, what?
Alex can join too.
Anybody. Jeremy said, I agree with Winnie Wynn. So we're going to keep this theme going where if you got something to say, this is like the real open forum. You can say what you want to say.
This isn't Fox News.
This is not Fox, CNN, MSNBC. This is not controlled. This is not a town hall. This is where anybody, this is not where people are already pre-picked and they're only allowed to speak the ones that they picked them out. You know, those town halls.
The script that they're given.
Scripted. This is real. Anybody can join. Anybody can join. And if you don't like what we're saying, come on here and tell us. Don't be a weasel. Don't just use the easy way out.
Don't make a stupid little name for your YouTube thing and make nonsense comments. And I'm not pointing that to anybody. I'm just saying in general. Just don't do that, man.
Hey, look, I said this for years. I use my real name.
Mm-hmm.
This is my face. This is not a mask. Maybe it's an ugly face. I don't know. I don't think it's ugly. It's just average. But, a lot of people, they're real brave. Like they use a fake name. They wear a mask or they don't show their face. And they're like, oh, I'll show y'all. I'll show you what the hell's going on. It's like, no, you're not showing people anything because this is not even you.
Yeah.
This is my face and this is Ronnie's face. We're not hiding behind the keyboard. We're not brave in anonymity.
And I am an accountant, and I'm not a religious zealot.
Right. There's nothing wrong with being an accountant. And we're here. This is our real face. All right. Well, enough of that. So I still never had anybody, and I feel good about this because it's been a long video, and I never had one person come on here and show me how people dying on a beach in France in 1944.
All right, so can you give a final, maybe answer your own question there?
Yes. I was about to do that. I still had no one come on here and demonstrate to me how these poor old guys dying on a beach in France in 1944 made me have the ability to go to a beach today.
Yeah.
No one has done that.
You know what they do with these poor old guys? Is they trot them out and they try to make it seem like that's the best war that ever happened and this is the best country and we need to, whenever pro-war stuff comes up, it's always about World War II. Why don't you bring the Vietnam veterans out? Why don't you bring the Iraqi war veterans out? There's plenty of them, that don't have to be pushed out on a wheelchair because they're walking around, man. They're in my generation, okay? And why don't you bring them out to the State of the Union speech? No, Trump brings out all these, really, really old guys from World War II. And why? If you push in war, then bring the recent veterans out and let's hear what they have to
you
say.
know, props.
Because it's always World War II, World War II, World War II.
Yeah, because props don't talk.
Because props don't talk.
Yeah, they use them as props.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and they're really old now. They're getting really, really old. I mean, I grew up, watching these guys, but they're just going out there in a wheelchair and they're falling asleep during the speech. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's very bad. Very bad. All right. Well, thanks for watching this video production, folks. Have a good Memorial Day for whatever that's worth. And thanks for watching this
Now,
video.
Memorial Day is a good thing. It is good to recognize people who did serve and that's a really honorable thing to do. But
Even though they
we're
probably
just saying that we're anti-war
probably
and we're anti, sending these guys off to die for no reason. It's
right.
it's for no reason.
Right. We're saying they probably died for nothing. Nothing. And I've made videos about that before. Show me where they died for something, and you can't show it.